Hey guys, welcome back. I'm happy to announce that I'll be taking AP World next year, or in a few weeks, 2 weeks to be exact. My 10th grade year. So we'll be getting some videos on that. But we're starting off with this one. Sorry, my fan is going crazy because it's so hot here. We got summer work, and so there is a ridiculous amount. My hair is chopped right now. There's a ridiculous amount of stuff we need to know, and like what countries we need to know on maps, and like we need to know 106 vocabulary terms by the first week because there's gonna be a quiz. So I organized them into different categories, and I'm gonna help y'all define them. The countries, though, that will probably have to be a separate video. I'm not gonna lie. Also, I recorded a video but didn't end up posting it on Algebra 2, and that was saying that I got a 5 in my AP exam for AP Gov, so yay, that's exciting. And also, I got a whiteboard, so for my math class next year, or in a few weeks, I will have a whiteboard to work with, and no more note cards. My day ones, no, the note cards. Oh, and the screen recording of, a white background in my photos that I would, my day ones, where my day ones at? Yeah, you know. So like I said, there are in fact 106 terms we need to know. I have broken them down into categories, and the first category is one we know all too well, and that is government and politics. This is gonna kind of be just like a rapid fire type situation. And they're gonna be going in alphabetical order. First term is abdicate. Abdicate. Wherever I decide to put that. And it means to renounce a throne. So you give up your spot on a throne. A leader gives up their spot, their authority, their throne, whatever. Next is accession, which is attaining a throne or attaining this leadership role, or attaining or like achieving the position of being in a throne. Next is anarchy, which is lack of government. That was also covered in AP Gov last year. Anarchy is just when the idea that there's no government, and if people, being people, decide to act with free will, then it will go haywire and our entire system will collapse very shortly. Appeasement, which is yielding to demands. That definition is kind of vague. All these definitions are kind of 2 or 3 word definitions, so I'm kind of just assuming what they mean. I'm kind of, yeah. So, appeasement is yielding to demands. I'm assuming that means yielding to demands of your superiors or people under you. So it's just kind of following what people are telling you to do. Next is aristocracy, as in like aristocrat, and it means just being ruled by nobles. This is, again, I don't know the context of any of these because there's no like passages to read or lessons. This just, you have to know what these mean. I'm assuming we'll get context first week of school in class, maybe, but that just means a system or society is ruled by nobles, or just the concept of being ruled by nobles. This is authoritarian, which is the idea of requiring strict obedience. And so this is like types of governments where leaders are very strict and you have to be very obedient and you have to follow exactly what they want you to do. It's like basically dictatorships, but I don't know what the difference between that and dictatorships are. Next is autocracy, which means there is one absolute ruler in control. This doesn't always mean it's a dictator. I'm pretty sure it's all the cases in practice of this happening, it has been a dictator, but in theory, autocracies can just be one ruler that you have, like a king or a queen. Next is the bureaucracy, which, we know all too well. We know the bureaucracy here, babes. Yep, we know what that means. But in this class's context, all it means is government administration system, which we know what it means in depth, so you should be pretty good with this terminology. But in this context, it just means government administration system. So Next is a city-state, which is an independent sovereign city. I'm assuming that's like Vatican City. Like that's like an example. Like Vatican City is a city, but I think it's also a state. Just know that it means it's an independent sovereign city. Next is civic, and that just is an umbrella term saying anything relating to citizenship. Next is colonial. Colonial means controlling foreign countries, or like think of like colonies, like Great Britain, how Great Britain was treating America in the late 1700s, or all of 1700s for that matter. Colonial is just the act of colonizing. Conscription is a compulsory military draft. So I'm assuming it's just the draft we have in America. That's just like the formal name for it is conscription. A coup, spelled COUP, is a sudden government overthrow. So this is like the French Revolution. That was a coup. I think it's a French word, I'm pretty sure. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but that should be French. A despot, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is a tyrant with absolute power. So think dictator. Yeah. A dynasty is a hereditary ruler line. So the strongest example of this was in China when they had this like the same families ruling for hundreds upon hundreds of years. And France with all the Louis they had, and the Georges they had in Great Britain, just like families that are just like owning and ruling countries for hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's like lines of rulers that we have. Edict is an official government decree. So just like a think executive order, but for the whole government. And in other countries, you can't. I keep using just U.S. government terminology, but it applies to basically all the countries, or it tries to apply to all countries with these terms, because feudalism, land for loyalty, political system. So you trade land for loyalty, is what I'm getting out of that. Land for loyalty, political system. Imperialism, which is what I've heard is like the term you need to know in AP World. It means extending nations' authority. So that means extending one nation's authority into other countries, or spreading the culture and everything about that into other countries, whether by force or not. Monarchy is just rules, like a system ruled by kings or queens. Again, a lot of these terms that describe rulers that are tyrannical, they are synonymous basically, but I'm assuming they have different names because of different contexts in different societies throughout the years. A nation state, so this is different from a city state. A nation state is a sovereign country of homogeneous people. So it's a sovereign country of the same people. So that should apply to all countries with indigenous peoples there, if it's everyone of the same. So think basically all of the countries we knew before colonizers started coming in. So like each group of indigenous people on their own country. So like the Native Americans in America. Yeah, that would be considered a nation state because they're the same people on one sovereign country. I don't know anything I'm saying right now. I'm just completely taking this as I see it. I'm just an oligarchy just means ruled by a few. So it's It's kind of like it's a system ruled by like a small group of people still, but not just one person. Yeah. A parliament or a parliamentary system is a legislative body led government. So, kind of just like what the UK has for their, or really any modern majority of most modern countries, especially in the EU and America. Not America, never mind. Never mind. That's not parliamentary. But most countries in the EU have a parliamentary system. And it's very similar to American government. A polity, I'm assuming polity, is a politically organized unit. Political party, maybe. A polity. Interesting. Next is provincial. Provincial. And that's, as one may guess, anything relating to local provinces. And provinces are the same things as just states or territories. So anything, it's kind of an umbrella term for anything relating to provinces. A regent is a ruler during a monarch's absence/minority. So it's kind of like if the king gets sick, if the ruler gets sick, if they die and they can't fill in someone fast enough, you have someone that temporarily fills that spot. Yeah. A republic is a government of elected representatives. This is what America is. We're a republic. That's why I doubled back on what I said earlier about us being a parliamentary, because we are not. Our parliament. So republic, yeah. A state is a governed political community. Most people know what states are. I'm just going to say that. And lastly, in this section, yeah, we're only through one section. A theocracy is ruled by religious leaders. So this is essentially, I'm going to watch what I say here. This is how you would describe medieval Europe, because, or especially during the Spanish Inquisition, when they had priests, like the Catholic Church basically ruling all of Europe and that dictating all the rules and laws. This is also how most Islamic countries were formed, is through having, I'm not sure, just like Muslim leaders telling them what to do. This is sort of what the Taliban is in Afghanistan. They're religious leaders. I'm trying not to get political. I don't. But those are examples. Just having a system where religious leaders are the ones ruling and making rules and laws. I'm also going to try to give you little things to remember these rules by versus just saying what they are. I realized that it'd probably be more helpful. Anyways, my next little section